You have chosen unity over disunity. You have chosen resilience, flexibility, inclusiveness and strength over infighting, weakness, vacillation, or wish-washiness. You have chosen boldness and courage over timidity and the same old, same old. You have chosen positive change and transformation. You have sent a clear and resounding message to the tri-island state of Petit Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada that the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of inspiring hope and belief in our people and in our nation. That the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of beginning the process of creating a sustainable and brighter future for our young, vibrant, creative, and innovative population. You have recognized and honored and rewarded the tremendous contributions made by all of the NDC stalwarts. And for this superb choice, I say thank you.
Ready up, St. Andrew. Big things happening. The National Democratic Congress is calling all supporters, members, and well-wishers to come out in your numbers for our rally under the theme Things Happening on Sunday, November 23rd at the SAS playing field in Telescope, St. Andrew from 5 p.m. Come hear our esteemed political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, alongside a powerful lineup of dynamic speakers, including Senator David Andrew, Honorable Delma Thomas, Honorable Lennox Andrews, Dr. Tessa Sincere, Senator Gloria Thomas, and more. Be part of the effort that's transforming lives, empowering communities, and making real progress across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. NDC Rally is the place to be on Sunday, November 23rd, SAS playing field, Telescope, St. Andrew. See you there.
Hi, my name is Daniela Christopher, and I'm a resident of Telescope. And I'm just here to talk about all the good work that David Andrew has been doing. We are very pleased with the work that he's doing because a lot of things was neglected for a lot of years, and now he's just opening our eyes to see what a real government could do for their people. So first of all, I want to talk about the road that's leading by the Telescope School. This road was dilapidated for a number of years, and now it is fixed. I think it's over 840 feet of road, and it's all done just for the convenience of the people of Telescope. So where I live, this piece of road was there for eons. Every time an election was coming, they would do a little piece and leave it, do a little piece and leave it. But when Mr. Andrew came in, he did the entire road. He did the slipper drain to go right down to the junction. So I'm very pleased with that. This road is located in the back of SAS School. Also, he was instrumental in bringing the WASH program to Telescope and Small Bay. So many people got bathroom and toilet, and we are very pleased with that because we know once you have bathroom and toilet, you think a little highly of yourself and you appreciate that. So we are very pleased with that. There are so many other programs that I know of. People are getting materials to build houses. People are getting materials to help them in other areas. So we are very pleased about that. Even as the Minister of Education, I am extremely pleased with all the progress that are being made. Lots of our children in Telescope who are going to TAMCC, who are going to NULO, they have free tuition now. So I'm very pleased because my son is in Form 2 and he will benefit from a free laptop. So I'm extremely pleased with that. Overall, Mr. Andrew is doing a very good job, and I'll be very pleased to see him as the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. Correction, he will be the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. And how can I possibly forget that we got Progress Pack Light up. After all these years, we got Progress Pack Light up. And also, if you look behind me, Telescope is lighted as well. So thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate it so much. So things are definitely happening in St. Andrew Southeast.
We're moving forward, forward, forward. Move the country forward, forward, forward. With NDC forward, forward, forward.
Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We're happy to welcome all those who are listening on radio via WeFM, Vibes FM. We've got Spice Capital Radio. We've got 100.5 FM out of Labby in Grenville. We have Rampoon Radio out of Delaware in the United States. And of course, there are other stations whom we are not even aware of. So we want to just welcome all of you to another NDC Heartbeat episode. And of course, not forgetting those who are on the NDC Facebook feed and on YouTube. Welcome to another NDC episode for another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada. With me in studio is the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, the Honorable Joseph Handel. He's also the parliamentary representative for St. Patrick West. So let me say welcome to Minister. Thank you for joining the Heartbeat once again. It's always a pleasure.
Good afternoon, Terry, and thank you for hosting me today. It's been a little while since I was last here.
Yeah, well, you're keeping busy. You're keeping busy.
And I also want to greet your devoted listeners.
Wonderful.
On the different media, and to take this opportunity to wish everyone very prosperous, healthy, and enjoyable holiday season.
Yep, it's coming up right around the corner. Right around the corner. Well, we're having, the party is hosting a massive rally this afternoon. Well, of course, first of all, we'll have the General Council, and then we'll have the rally. Tell us a little bit about the General Council and the rally and the expectations and so forth.
The General Council is the second highest decision-making body of the party after the convention. And we are mandated to have a General Council generally twice a year. Strictly speaking, more than 6 months should not elapse.
Right.
Between General Councils. And it is mandatory that we have a General Council prior to convention. You know that we recently amended the party's constitution, so we will no longer be having annual conventions. So there may be a little tweaking in terms of that requirement. The General Council provides an opportunity for delegates representing the different constituencies and polling divisions, as well as other organs of the party, including overseas chapters, an opportunity to be brought up to speed with happenings within the party, to ratify decisions, and to provide directives to the body going forward for the period over the next, for the intervening period until the next General Council.
Right.
So that will be held in St. Andrew.
Right.
And following that, we are having a mass rally. Our membership have been calling for that for the longest while. And the mobilization has been quite vigorous for that. So we are expecting a pretty big turnout in St. Andrew, especially as we'll be focusing on the big four.
Yep.
And as you know, things happening.
Things
a lot of things happening. So yeah, so
Indeed.
We're urging everyone to come out in your numbers and to be brought up to date in terms of what's going on government and party-wise.
Right. Of course, the General Council is an in-house private event for party executive, party members, and so forth. Generally at the General Council, what is expected at a General Council for those who are not aware?
So the General Secretary of the party, who has the task of the party's bid organizer and mobilizer responsible for the organizational health of the party will present a report outlining what has happened, successes, shortcomings over the reporting period. Of course, the delegates will have the opportunity to scrutinize the report, to ask questions, to make suggestions and recommendations. The party leader, the treasurer, other elected officers of the party will have to give account of their stewardship and what the successes and so on that they have presided over for the reporting period. And of course, in his address, the party leader is expected to give what we'd call a line of march in terms of the directions we're going and the initiatives that will be undertaken by the party in the upcoming period.
Right. Now, in the General Council meeting, you expect vigorous commentary from the membership, or is it just a quiet setting?
It can be vigorous, and by the nature and history of our organization, we do not have a rubber stamp party. We have one where democracy is not only talked about, but where it is practiced. It is not one man or one woman show, and every delegate has a right to pose questions, to get explanations for decisions taken or not taken, and it is an open forum, open in the sense that all delegates have equal rights of participation, because the motto of the party, let the people's voices be heard, is not just an empty slogan. The delegates represent, as I said before, polling divisions. The PDs get to select their delegate. Each PD will have one delegate, and each arm of the party, women's arm, youth arm, will also have a delegate for each constituency. And plus you have the elected officers of the party, the members of the National Executive Council, and these are the component parts of the General Council.
Right. Okay. So that being the case, the General Council is expected to start off at what time?
Off the top of my head, I can't say, but it usually goes on for a few hours. And immediately afterwards, we'll transition to the public rally.
Okay, all right. And the rally starts at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
we SAS
playing field. We are encouraging people to mobilize to get your buses, your trucks, cars, bikes, carts, what have you, and come out and make a statement.
All right. Now, folks who are interested in coming out, if they, for whatever reason, don't get transport to get there, but they get a ride to get there, getting back to their various communities, how do we handle that situation? 'Cause people are excited.
We ensure that you get back home by any means necessary. Carpooling, whatever it is. Yeah, if we have to summon extra transportation to get people back home, we will.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
So you don't have to worry.
Oh, great. Well, this rally is expected to be, well, a matter of fact, it is considered to be probably the mother of all rallies.
Well,
I don't know why.
I don't know. I haven't heard that one. But we do expect a robust turnout and an energized membership and followership. Yeah.
Great. And who are the speakers are we anticipating? Who would we be hearing from?
So the main speakers will be the 4 caretakers and MPs from the parish of St. Andrew, the Big Four. Right. The Minister of Social and Community Development, Honorable Senator Gloria Thomas, I think will also be featured, and naturally the Prime Minister. And I think that we may have 1 or 2 other speakers dealing with specific topics
Right. Well,
at that rally. Yeah.
Senator Gloria Thomas, in her own right, she is also chairman of the
She
party.
is the chair of the party.
So
Indeed, yes.
she is making her presentation as chairman and also representative for that particular constituency, notwithstanding the fact, of course, the Honorable Delma Thomas is the parliamentary representative.
So Delma is a representative,
Yes.
and Sister Gloria will
Yes.
be as minister and more importantly as chair of the party.
Chair of the party.
Yes.
Right, great. So from that rally, what are you expecting? What is the anticipation? Or what is the message? What would you want the folks who are attending the rally to leave that rally feeling?
Yeah, so we need people to go out there armed with the knowledge that the party in government has been delivering. We have been ticking the boxes that, in fact, I would say that in many cases we have even overachieved. Because if you were to put up a chart, you would see, and you look at our manifesto in terms of the big ticket items, and on the other side, the status of those items, you'd see that most, if not all of those items have already been ticked, plus things that we had not even campaigned on,
Right.
but which we know are essential for the well-being of our people. So we feel quite confident that our people will go out there energized, armed with the necessary information to promote and to defend the work of the party and the government over the past 3+ years, and that we would go into the remaining year plus of our first term with a level of confidence, knowing that we all came into government untried, untested at that level, and that we hit the ground running, ably led by our Prime Minister and his team, and that we really have been able to marshal the ship of state and to put it on a course that will definitely lead to, and has already started to lead to, the transformation of the economic and social landscape of Grenada.
Absolutely. Now, over the many years in politics, it is not normal or usual for political parties to refer back to their constituency manifesto and report on it and give updates. What has inspired, the party to have this as a focal aspect of reporting to the people?
If you were to go back to our campaign, you would notice that, yes, there were elements of the traditional political campaign in it, but there was something that was novel in that we did not go out into the communities and talk to or at the people, but we had conversations with them. They were active participants. We listened, we took their ideas on board, because very often you come in with all good intentions, thinking that you know what the people want or what they need. And if you were to go with a different approach and find out from them, you might be surprised that a lot of the things that you as a politician think people will be holding as priorities are not so up there in terms of what they'd like to see accomplished on their behalf. Yeah. So we recognize that type of engagement should not be episodic, but it should be part of our modus operandi in government now, to being the stewards of the people's assets, that we have a responsibility to go back to them from time to time, to report on what we have achieved, to report also on some of the things that we have not been able to achieve, and to explain the reasons for that, and again to continue to hear from the people. Right. Because without that engagement, you'd really be engaging in self-mamagism rather than in affording a level of participatory democracy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, from where I sit, several parliamentary representative ministers of government whom I have interviewed, I always get that assurance that more than 70%, 75%, sometimes a bit more, of almost all parliamentarians have accomplished in the constituency, what would you say is your percentage of accomplishment from your constituency manifesto promises?
Mm-hmm. You know, I have not actively thought about it in terms of percentage, but I look at it as an ongoing process. Mm-hmm. And I think that as a member of parliament, one ought, yes, you may be pleased at some of the things that working with the people you have been able to achieve, but you must never get to a point of feeling, yeah, I have arrived, I am satisfied. Because satisfaction leads to complacency. Mm-hmm. Complacency will eventually lead to dereliction of duty. Mm-hmm. So I believe that we have been working steadfastly towards improving the lives of the people of the constituency of St. Patrick West. We have been paying, pardon me, a lot of attention to people's physical living conditions, the state of the infrastructure.
Right.
We have a situation where, and to be honest, quite a bit of infrastructural work in terms of providing access to homes in areas that were previously mud tracks and so on was done by the previous parliamentary rep, Saboson. But in spite of that, we still had quite a lot of areas that needed that type of attention. We still have areas where significant numbers of people have to be trekking through mud for longish distances to get out onto the main road and so on. So this has been a priority in my first term as a MP. And in almost every village of St. Patrick West, you can see at least one, in some cases 2 or 3, of that type of infrastructural work being undertaken on a regular basis. Barring the remedial work that has been done by the pipeline work that has been done by Nawasa, the main street of the town of Sotez, and the streets, the satellite streets, High Street, on the canal, Maho, Mount Craven, and so on, they are generally in tip-top shape, the roads itself. The bridges, that's another story. And we have started working in conjunction with the Ministry of Infrastructure Development to address the vexing question of the poor state of many of the bridges in St. Patrick. Currently, the people of Snell Hall, Monkridge to an extent, Montfendy to an extent, Madays, are going through the inconvenience of having to do without the Snell Hall Bridge. That bridge was in a deplorable state, and a few months ago I took Permanent Secretary Alva Brown and Chief Technical Officer Mr. Blash, Kevin Blash, on a tour of the bridges in my constituency. One of the things I try to do is to not just wait for people to complain and say, this ain't good or that ain't working, right? I would invite the PSAs and the technical officers from different ministries to tour the constituency with me so that they can see firsthand the state of the facilities that are under the aegis of the various ministries. And then we would together try to see what type of remedial action can be taken. So out of that particular visit, the work on the Snell Hall Bridge was immediately embarked upon. But it turned out that there was some severe engineering issues that had to be resolved. So the work had to be put on hold. And rather than a simple repair job, a brand new bridge had to be designed for 2 lanes, unlike the one that existed previously, where a little winding 1-lane road or bridge. And I'm pleased to say that as recently as yesterday, I visited the site, and I see that they are now starting to do the steel works and so on, preparing the embankments. And within a few months, we will have a proper motorable bridge in that area. There are many more to come, one in Monkridge, Montfendu, Madays, and some of the inner roads, the Samaritan Bridge. All of those have to be done. But as you know, the old saying, it takes money, it takes time, and sometimes one of the problems we face is even when you may have materials and money, is the required skill level.
Technical,
Yeah, so sometimes that can be a problem, it can be a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have been working quite a bit on that. The sporting facilities, we have been able to upgrade, to repair the Monkridge hard court,
Right.
We have been able to, we are currently working on a mini pavilion in Snell Hall that will have proper bathroom and toilet changing facilities.
Right.
There will also be a nice little sort of conference area, enclosed conference area, bleachers and so on. Eventually we're going to do a roof over it because you don't want people to be constantly exposed to the elements.
Right.
We have been able to refurbish quite a few community centers. Minister Cornwall and I, we work together on the one in Hermitage as well as Monkridge. We have some structural issues with Monkridge. That's why it has not been reopened yet. It has a concrete roof.
Oh.
And based on the way it was built, we have some leaking as well as some shelling of the concrete, and you can see some of the steel exposed.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are in the process of trying to find a solution that can make it usable without endangering the lives or the health of the people who are using the facility. Yeah,
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what is the latest with the? I know there was a major fire about a year ago in your constituency. What's the
Yeah.
latest with the rebuilding of
Right.
these homes?
Yes. So I'm happy to say that the response to that has been really, really tremendous. And the 5 houses are largely completed now. And it is with construction, you see the structure up and you think that people are ready to move in, but you have the little internal work to do,
Finishings.
plumbing, electrical finishings and so on, cabinetry and so on. So all of that is being worked on now. And I know in the past I was told by the project manager that, okay, the houses will be ready by X time or by Y time, and then the deadline, as is the
Construction always
construction
gets delayed.
get pushed back a little bit. But I'm still hopeful that I'm hopeful that we could be able to give a Christmas present to the 5 homeowners. And we were able to mobilize quite a bit of money to do that project. I mean, when I give the commitment to the people that we would build back better for them,
Yep.
afterwards I say, boy, what trouble are you going to put yourself in there? But I must say that we have a very dedicated, hardworking committee, and they have really gone beyond and above the call of duty to ensure that the resources were mobilized, the funds, materials, corporate Grenada chipped in, individuals at home and in the diaspora. And although there were some naysayers, I think the fact that no one can dispute that 5 modern, properly designed houses are up
Right.
cannot be disputed.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
evidence is there.
It is there.
Fantastic. Well, let's hope that there are no more fires.
Exactly. And that is one of the reasons that I thought that if we're going to do over the houses, we should try to make them as resilient as possible. They are in extremely close proximity to each other.
Right.
If you have a wide wingspan as a human being, you probably can stand and touch them.
Wow.
And, special consideration had to be given, special permission had to be sought to allow them to be rebuilt that closely, and to minimize the risk of a similar tragedy recurring. We decided to go the route of concrete structures,
Yeah.
and so far, so good with that.
Fantastic. And you are on budget with respect to the project.
Right. So in terms of the structures, yes, I think that the committee has been really managing the finances well. And again, I wish to commend Dr. Aaron Logie, who works at Co-op Bank, Mr. Philbert Lewis. The committee is headed by teacher Faith Lewis, retired principal of the school, Pastor Richard Alexander, and Miss Solange Logie. They have been doing a really excellent job of managing the finances. And one of the things that we are going to do is to have a certified accountant or accounting firm go through the books and do a proper audit, so that everyone who contributed can be given the assurance that the contributions were put to good use, that there was no hanky-panky, and that everything has been totally above board. In fact, I think that the people who are involved in that committee, while no human being is perfect, I think that I can safely say that you won't find anybody in Chantemelle, regardless of political stripe, that would point a finger at any of those people.
That's most important.
Yeah, and we have some built-in structures into the way the finances are managed that would that sort of protects against wastage and mismanagement.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, before we move on to the next subject matter of your various travels and so forth abroad, is there anything else from your constituency that you'd like to share?
Sure. My different polling division groups, they have been very, very active, and I wish to commend the PD captains and their members for, coming together periodically and putting up their work plan and executing. And we have someone who is not necessarily from the PD, but to make sure that when the work plan is drawn up, it is executed. Our motto is that we want results, not excuses. All right? And I think we've been getting a lot more results in St. Patrick West in terms of the organizational work of the constituency group than we've had probably at any other time in my tenure as /caretaker candidate MP in St. Patrick West for the NDC. So coming up, we have on Friday the 28th from 2 p.m. at West End Junction in Moncraven, the polling division group there, RO6, they are putting on barbecue lime. So there'll be eats, there'll be drinks, there'll be games, dominoes, and so on. So everyone is invited to have a good time and to socialize. We have invited the PM. Hopefully he might be able to find the time to pop in a little bit. The last time he was there, I saw him playing dominoes, and I think he got some licks. So that's a good opportunity for him to come back to St. Patrick to redeem himself. Yeah. And on the 30th, Sunday the 30th, we're hoping to have a big football extravaganza at the Filbert Frame playing field in Chantemelle. Again, I am going to be the main sponsor of that event, so we're expecting quite a number of teams. It's going to be a small goal competition, and we're expecting big turnout from the people of Chantemelle and the neighboring communities, Samaritan, maybe even as far as Sautez, Montreal, and so on, to send teams to participate in that tournament, yeah?
Great.
And of course, Christmas is around the corner, so we are gearing up for Christmas parties to treat the little ones, to organize hampers for those who are not as mobile or who may not have the means. And we are urging everyone who can contribute towards the putting together of the hampers to please feel free to contact us at the party office in Sautez. Yeah.
Okay. As we quickly advance towards the new year, what would you say is probably one of your agenda items for the constituency come New Year?
Right. So it is something for the parish, and I know that many people in St. Patrick are getting a little antsy and a little frustrated. I myself too must confess that I am a little bit, not necessarily frustrated, but hopeful that we might have been able to start before. But the old saying that when you're undertaking something major, it always makes sense to measure twice, measure 3 times before you cut.
Tailors.
Yes, so I'm talking here now about the next phase of the Sautez Breakwater project. So a lot of work has gone on behind the scenes, such as securing the funding. That has been taken care of, a $10 million loan from the Caribbean Development Bank. And the environmental and social impact assessment, that too has been completed. Consultations with the affected communities have taken place. The draft of or mock-up of the remedial measures proposed by Smith Warner, the company that did the design for the breakwater, for the second phase of the breakwater. That was shown as part of the consultative process.
Right.
There was some local input, feedback. Those were taken into account, and the drawings subsequently modified to reflect that. So I think that, quite a bit of that sort of work has been done. All right. The tendering process, I think it's drawing close to an end, if not already at an end. And I anticipate, based on my conversation with the technical people at the Ministry of Infrastructure Development within recent weeks, that soon we should be hearing which company has been awarded the contract to execute the next phase of the project. Right? So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm being hopeful that soon we should be seeing some actual work taking place at the Lower Sutters area,
Right.
regarding the continuation of that project. Yeah.
Once that project is completed, what is the expected outcome of it?
So we are hoping to, at first, initially, to halt the inward march of the sea, right? And then eventually, the hope is that we would be able to gradually reclaim naturally some of the land as the sea recedes. In the past 8 or so years, we have lost about 60 meters of coastland in Lower Sutters, Mount Craven, Mount Rodney.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's marching westward towards Mount Alexander, the Pithians area, Darby area, and so on.
So it's like a constant erosion taking place.
Yeah. It's really, really bad. Mind you, it was bad before the construction of the breakwater, but the breakwater provided a bit of protection to the Lowtown area in Sutters. But because of the way it was designed, the water that was displaced had to express itself, and it did so along the western area and has created havoc. So, I mean, where we used to have hundreds, maybe even thousands of coconut trees and sea grape trees along that Mount Craven, Copeland Bay stretch, you now have literally just about 1 or 2 lines of coconut trees there. And it's a lot easier now for the sea to cross the road. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago while I was out, we had to arrange for some equipment to unblock the drain so that the water could flow out, and that the flooded area of Mount Rodney there were, could be could be dealt with.
I haven't been out there for a long time, but the last time I was there, the sea and the road seems to be at the same level now.
Yeah, almost, and it's really, really bad. I mean, I live in that general area, so I have to pass by it sometimes several times a day, and when I tell you it's bad, it's bad. So I'm really, really praying and hoping that all technical hurdles, all administrative hurdles will be cleared early in the new year, so that we can proceed with alacrity, as my friend Minister Lennox just likes to say, to fix that problem.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'd like to chat about your trips abroad to Ghana, the EU meeting, CELAC, etc., and we'll deal with other matters. So
sure.
Back in a moment.
Ready up, St. Andrew. Big things happening. The National Democratic Congress is calling all supporters, members, and well-wishers to come out in your numbers for our rally under the theme Things Happening on Sunday, November 23rd at the SAS playing field in Telescope, St. Andrew from 5 p.m. Come hear our esteemed political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, alongside a powerful lineup of dynamic speakers, including Senator David Andrew, Honorable Delma Thomas, Honorable Lennox Andrews, Dr. Tessa Sincere, Senator Gloria Torres, commerce, and more. Be part of the effort that's transforming lives, empowering communities, and making real progress across Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. NDC Rally is the place to be on Sunday, November 23rd. SAS Plainfield, Telescope St. Andrew. See you there.
The 2024 NDC Women's Arm Dinner was outstanding. Guests were treated to live music from our talented police band, and dinner was not only delicious, but also set a stunning ambience. Everyone danced the night's way, creating an unforgettable experience. Mark your calendars now for this essential fundraiser on November 29th. The theme for the night is Back to Africa. Get ready for an evening of pure elegance. Don't hesitate. Secure your tickets today to benefit from our early bird pricing.
Hi, my name is Daniela Christopher, and I'm a resident of Telescope. And I'm just here to talk about all the good work that David Andrew has been doing. We are very pleased with the work that he's doing because a lot of things was neglected for a lot of years, and now he's just opening our eyes to see what a real government could do for their people. So first of all, I want to talk about the road that's leading by the Telescope School. This road was dilapidated for a number of years, and now it is fixed. I think it's over 840 feet of road, and it's all done just for the convenience of the people of Telescope. So where I live, this piece of road was there for eons. Every time an election was coming, they would do a little piece and leave it, do a little piece and leave it. But when Mr. Andrew came in, he did the entire road. He did the slipper drain to go right down to the junction. So I'm very pleased with that. This road is located in the back of SAS School. Also, he was instrumental in bringing the WASH program to Telescope and Small Bay. So many people got bathroom and toilet, and we are very pleased with that because we know once you have bathroom and toilet, you think a little highly of yourself and you appreciate that. So we are very pleased with that. There are so many other programs that I know of. People are getting materials to build houses. People are getting materials to help them in other areas. So we are very pleased about that. Even as the Minister of Education, I am extremely pleased with all the progress that are being made. Lots of our children in Telescope who are going to TAMCC, who are going to Newlo, they have free tuition now. So I'm very pleased because my son is in Form 2 and he will benefit from a free laptop. So I'm extremely pleased with that. Overall, Mr. Andrew is doing a very good job, and I'll be very pleased to see him as the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. Correction, he will be the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. And how can I possibly forget that we got Progress Park light up? After all these years, we got Progress Park light up. And also, if you look behind me, Telescope is lighted as well. So thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate it so much. So things are definitely happening in St. Andrew Southeast.
We're moving forward, forward, forward. Move the country forward, forward, forward. With NDC, forward.
Welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat podcast for another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada, and I'm sure you're getting ready, making your plans to go on out to the rally this afternoon. It starts at 5 o'clock. It's going to be out at the SAS Plainfield, so come on out and be part of this exciting moment with the National Democratic Congress. Come and listen to your MPs in the St. Andrew constituencies and just kind of have a good time with members of the National Democratic Congress, and come and meet old friends and meet and make new friends as you come on out to SAS Plainfield. So, welcome back, Minister. Your trips abroad. First of all, we can talk about the trip to Ghana and the MOU that was signed and the benefits that it will bring to Grenada.
Yep. So, Ghana, I think one of the highlights of the Ghana trip was the signing of that MOU regarding healthcare workers, primarily nurses, including specialist nurses. Everyone knows that we have some serious challenges with our healthcare system in Grenada. Government over the years has paid hundreds of millions of dollars to train doctors, nurses, and so on. And they are to put it bluntly, very often poached by countries who have the wherewithal to offer them better remuneration packages,
Greener pastures.
and so on. And that's the way of life. You know, you have to now look at how to mitigate, how to take measures to fill that void created by the exodus of those doctors and nurses. So one of the areas that we have been looking at is to seek cooperation arrangements with friendly countries. And Ghana is the latest one of those that so soon, it should be pretty close to coming into fruition as far as I know. We should be seeing the arrival of, I think, some 30 Ghanaian nurses in different areas of specialization to augment what we have here. And, you know, that is one of the aims of Project Polaris too. You know, people believe that Project Polaris is just building a big building. And you would hear some people trying to portray it as that, but it's something a lot more integrated, where while we are looking at medium and long-term solutions, we are also actively trying to address the immediate problems and challenges that confront us, and that is one of the steps that we have taken. The strengthening of cultural ties, again, that was very big, and it is quite clear to all of us on both sides of the, as we now call it, Atlantic River.
Atlantic River.
Yes, that one of the more pressing challenges is to find air and sea connectivity to bolster trade, people-to-people exchanges, tourism, and so on between the continent and the Caribbean. And, you know, one thing I discovered, you know about it in a theoretical way. You hear people say, well, it's not so far to get to Africa from the Caribbean, vice versa. And, you know, in a small plane, it took us just a little over 6 hours to fly from the Gambia, which is a tiny country that is almost swallowed up by Senegal, I think, and it's on the probably westernmost part of Africa. Yeah, just a little over 6 hours to fly from the Gambia to Grenada. So if you were traveling with a jet, that would probably be just a shade over 5 hours.
Yep.
Okay, so it's really close. It's 5 hours to get to New York.
Yep.
5 hours plus to get to Toronto from here. Almost 9 hours to get to London.
Yep.
So Africa is not this far distant place that it was historically made out to be for us. So things are looking positive, and not only Grenada, but other countries, Barbados and others, are actively seeking to strengthen the ties with Africa for the mutual benefit of Africa and the Caribbean. All right. I recently...
Not cutting you, is there some development taking place with respect to a traffic movement between Africa and the Caribbean? Is there a hub being considered?
Right. So conversations have already started. And when we were in Ethiopia a few months ago for the African Union CARICOM Summit, the Prime Minister and I and members of our delegation, we did engage the top executives of Ethiopian Airlines, which I think is probably the biggest airline operating out of Africa. And we had preliminary conversations with them in terms of expanding into the Caribbean. They are already traveling to Brazil. And so they themselves have already started doing feasibility studies and so on, and looking at, for example, having a hub somewhere in West Africa, maybe Ghana or Nigeria, where people from Africa or in Africa wishing to visit the Caribbean, whether it's for leisure, for trade, or whatever else, can fly to that hub.
Right.
To come to a hub in the Caribbean, and from there disperse to other destinations in the region. Yeah, so some conversations have already begun, and as I said, Ethiopian Airlines, they're already doing their feasibility studies and so on. Fantastic. So it's encouraging at this stage, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, recently you were in Canada to officially open the Grenada High Commission in Ottawa. And then you had other visits to other Canadian cities. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so that was a very, very important move by our government to reopen the High Commission, because there was one several years ago, and for whatever reason it was shut down. It is important that you utilize your scarce resources as a small state strategically. Canada has one of the biggest Grenadian diasporas, and they're one of our big trading partners too. They sell obviously a lot more to us than we to them. But having the embassy, or the High Commission as it's called within the Commonwealth, in Ottawa gives us more direct access to the center, or the seat of power in Canada. It puts us closer to the table so that our voices, our concerns can have an audience more readily than simply having a consulate which is restricted to a specific geographic location, in our case, Toronto. Right? So the High Commission represents Grenada throughout the length and breadth of Canada. There's a very important agreement that was signed a couple of years ago, I think 2023, between then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and CARICOM heads who attended that CARICOM Canada Summit. And I think most, if not all, Caribbean countries have not yet started to make full use of that, as it's called, Carib-Can partnership, right? So now we would have people on the ground in Ottawa who would be able to follow up more closely to look at the areas that we can benefit from immediately, and to be able to navigate through the system to find out about processes, procedures, and so on. Then it puts us in a better position to be able to lobby for some of the things that we need or would like to get out of the relationship with Canada. So we see that to be a very, very important move, and I'm quite confident that it will, before long, start paying dividends. Yeah.
Fantastic. Then you had a town hall in Toronto. How did that go?
Right. So I wouldn't quite call it a town hall.
Well,
it took up that sort of format. Yeah, it was more a meet and greet, because remember that just a couple of months ago the Prime Minister and
yes, of course,
were there, right? So yeah, it was a more informal thing, a meet and, but it was very good. We had good engagement from the people who turned out. Some good questions, concerns, suggestions, and so on. I was able to meet in Toronto with a couple gentlemen who seem to be quite keen in undergoing investments in a number of areas in Grenada, but particularly in the field of energy, especially renewables. They have a track record, I understand, in converting waste to energy. And as an initial step, I have started to put things in place to connect them to a local business that is about to embark on the very same thing, waste to energy. So we are hopeful that something will be able to materialize from that in a not too distant future, right? A number of Grenadians have been contributing, especially in the field of providing medical equipment and so on. And they pledge to continue doing that and to start working more within the GDAC, that's the Grenada Diaspora Advisory Council framework. And they're quite interested in Project Polaris and in seeing what type of collaboration can come about between them and Project Polaris. So that was Toronto, and then we proceeded to Ottawa, the capital, where the High Commission was reopened on the Friday of my trip, and I was pleasantly surprised by the big attendance. All right, many of the diplomatic representatives of CARICOM and other countries were present. That coincided with the G7 meeting that Canada was hosting in the Niagara Falls area. So, but we did manage to secure a meeting with one of deputy foreign ministers, where we had some very useful talks held in a very collegial, very cordial manner.
Right.
We raised the question of collaboration within the Caribbean framework, cooperation in healthcare, skills training, migration matters, the question of visas, of visa application centers, and other related matters. So we made a proposal that we should probably have a joint commission, Grenada-Canada Commission, to start working and negotiating to see how we could get closer together and make some, if not all of those things, a reality going forward. And the final stop was in Montreal, and it was cold, but they turned up at the hall, and they were extremely happy because they were complaining that nobody would ever go to Montreal. Everybody would go to Toronto.
Yeah.
And I think they felt appreciated. They felt that finally some attention was being paid to them and their concerns. One of the things that I floated with them mainly in Toronto and Montreal was a proposed homecoming that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development is looking into hosting next year, sometime towards the end of June into early July, where we can organize activities. We bring our diaspora back home, invite them back home, looking at investment opportunities, looking at other areas in which they can contribute towards a transformation effort, and so on. Yeah. So you, as Ambassador for Diaspora Affairs, you will have your hands full.
Well, that's what it is.
You will have your hands full.
Absolutely.
Working with P.S. Hutchinson and the rest of the team in ensuring with the Tourism Authority, Ministry of Tourism, IMA, and so on, to ensure that there's the right level of synergy to bring forward the best possible result on that.
Absolutely.
In that endeavor. Yeah.
Great. Tell us a little bit about the EU meeting, CELAC. How did that session went?
Yep. So that again took place in Colombia. The European Union and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. The acronym CELAC is from the Spanish name of the organization. And so they have started having these biannual summits where heads of state and government, senior ministers and others from the two sides, I think there's about 27 states in the EU and about 33 in the CELAC region, come together to discuss matters of common interest. High on the agenda this year was a question of energy transition, digital transformation and digital democracy. Climate resilience is now a perennial agenda item. The Europeans were very concerned about the situation in the neck of the woods vis-a-vis Russia, Ukraine. And there was a lot of concern expressed by several Caribbean and Latin American delegations about the growing military tensions in the southern Caribbean. And there were repeated and forceful calls for the Caribbean and Latin America to continue to be respected as a zone of peace. Everyone pledged their cooperation and their determination to join in the fight against narcotics, the illegal narcotics trade and so on. I think that there was unanimity in the meeting that those things had to be tackled. The how is what people are concerned about. And so that was a very strong point on the agenda of many of the Latin American and Caribbean delegations who presented at that forum. Yeah.
Great, fantastic. Any other reports you wish to share with our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, so we continue at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and government as a whole to represent Grenada's interest. We recognize that we are part of an interdependent world, that we have to keep engaging so that the opportunities for investment, for trade, for cooperation in education, climate, energy, infrastructure, and so on.
Right.
We have to keep engaging the world, and we are doing it diligently. When we go out there for and on behalf of Grenada. And I think that we see a lot of tangible results of that.
Right.
And a lot of it may not be necessarily evident immediately, but the world of international diplomacy, international commerce, and so on.
Right.
It's all about establishing, building, and maintaining relationships. If you don't have relationships, you don't have anything else. Yeah. So we'll continue to do what we need to do to, ensure that Grenada does not get left out.
Great. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, I'd like us to touch a bit on the last sitting of Parliament, where you made a very powerful presentation regarding vehicles that were handed over to parliamentarians in the various constituencies. So stay with us. We'll be back with you in a moment.
The 2024 NDC Women's Arm Dinner was outstanding. Guests were treated to live music from our talented police band, and dinner was not only delicious, but also set a stunning ambience. Everyone danced the night's way, creating an unforgettable experience. Mark your calendars now for this essential fundraiser on November 29th. The theme for the night is Back to Africa. Get ready for an evening of pure elegance. Don't hesitate. Secure your tickets today to benefit from our early bird pricing.
Ready up, St. Andrew. Big things happening. The National Democratic Congress is calling all supporters, members, and well-wishers to come out in your numbers for our rally under the theme Things Happening on Sunday, November 23rd at the SAS playing field in Telescope, St. Andrew from 5 p.m. Come hear our esteemed political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, alongside a powerful lineup of dynamic speakers, including Senator David Andrew, Honorable Delma Thomas, Honorable Lennox Andrews, Dr. Tessa Sincere, Senator Gloria Thomas, and more. Be part of the effort that's transforming lives, empowering communities, and making real progress across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. NDC Rally is the place to be on Sunday, November 23rd, SAS playing field, Telescope, St. Andrew. See you there.
Today marks a very momentous occasion, the handing over of these vehicles that are badly needed by each constituency so that the respective MPs can make their representation of the people and the delivery of services to our constituents a lot easier and more effective. This is an initiative of the House of Representatives, and it was spearheaded by the House Committee, which is chaired by the Speaker of the House, Honorable Leo Cato, and has as its 4 other members Honorable Tevin Andrews of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and I from the government side, as well as the now leader of the opposition, Honorable Emmeline Pierre, and Honorable Clarice Modeste Corwin of St. Mark. We started the engagements in 2024, and all 4 members of the committee, plus the Speaker, we have always embraced the idea. There were valuable suggestions provided by the 2 opposition members in terms of the use and so on, the type of vehicles. And I personally am very happy that I now have the means to deliver more services to my constituency, and I believe that all of the other members who have accepted the vehicles. I think it is quite a disservice to the constituents represented by the members of the main opposition grouping in Parliament not to accept that decision, not to accept the vehicles. I think it is really petty politicking, and they are not thinking about the serving the needs of the constituents, but rather trying to make cheap political points. It's rather baffling that they sat in the committee for over a year, agreed to everything, and then all of a sudden they get an attack of conscience. So I look forward to providing better and more services to my constituents, as I'm sure are all the members on my side of the house in the Parliament.
Welcome back to the NDC Heartbeat podcast for today's Sunday. It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada, and just reminding you of the NDC rally, which will kick off at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And come on out and be part of the excitement out there. It's at the SAS playing field in Telescope, St. Andrews. So look forward to seeing you then. Welcome back, Minister.
Yes, so
it was very exciting in Parliament, and I listened to your presentation and I said, wow.
So, to me, the most important and telling presentations in Parliament the other day came from the leader of government business, from the Minister of the Blue Economy, which includes fisheries, and Minister Karine James, Minister of the Environment, and parliamentary representative for what she likes to call the fishing capital, one of the fishing capitals of Grenada.
Yes, indeed.
And it was unfortunate that really a sideshow was put on, with some political gimmickry to try to detract from a very important piece of legislation that was taken to the Parliament. We know the potential or the impending ban of the export of Grenada's fish to the U.S. market. And so we had to move swiftly to start to address that problem. And the first thing we needed to do was to amend the Fisheries Act, which fortunately Parliament did approve without any opposition. Right, I think everyone was unanimous on that. So to me, that was the highlight of the sitting. But then there came a sideshow. And, it was rather disappointing to see the senior-most member of the Parliament go out there and either deliberately or through ignorance mislead the nation on the issuing of those vehicles. First of all, the vehicles are there for use by the official parliamentary office of the 15 constituencies. And this government must be commended for the first time in the history of Grenada, giving members of parliament, whether you represent the government side or the opposition side, some of the tools necessary to give effective representation to your constituents. Prior to 2024, Terry, when I went to my office on Thursday and people came with their issues, with their problems, looking for little solutions, the most I could do was refer them to another ministry, another agency, or just make sympathetic noises. We now have the means to engage in small but impactful interventions through the $10,000 constituency fund. And all 15 MPs have access to that. It is not our personal money. No one ever tried to say that it was our personal money. It is there for the use of our constituents.
And that fund has to be reported to the Parliament.
Yes, there are clear guidelines as to what it can and cannot be used for, how often anyone, because it's not supposed to be a standing thing where every day Terry come in and tell me he has done. No, we help you once, we help you twice, and then you have to find some other means, or we have to find some other way to help you, right? So it's not a standing thing that everybody could just, right? Cool. For the first time, parliamentarians, both in the Senate as well as in the lower house, have a reasonable salary. Did you know that prior to 2024, if you were on the government side as an elected MP and you had a ministerial portfolio, you were not paid to represent the people, which is the primary job that you got. And if you were an opposition MP, obviously you could not be a minister. I think it was a stipend, which is today now the minimum wage, $1,200 or something like that. And you were expected to make magic.
Yep.
Senators, I think, was even less, about $800 or something like that. So some steps were taken to remedy that. But it was recognized too that a lot of the work that you have to do involves moving, physically moving, picking up stuff. Let me give an example. Yesterday, the newly issued vehicle for St. Patrick West had to come to St. George's to pick up some wheelchairs that a kindly soul on my intervention had donated to my constituency. Previously, I would have had to maybe every time I go up to St. Patrick, take one and go up, break down the back of my seat and so on.
Or hire a truck.
Or hire a truck to do it. So there are lots of legitimate things to be done that require a vehicle to make the work of the parliamentarian easier and more effective.
Right.
Good? So the House Committee, which is the one that would decide on that, which is headed by the Speaker and has equal representation from government and opposition. And the lamentable thing about it is that the leader of the opposition is in that committee, as well as one of the longest serving members of the House, the member from St. Mark. They're both on that committee. We sat when the idea was first brought forward on more than one occasion, discussed. They made their input. In fact, one of them, even at one of the meetings, suggested that maybe we should not look only at pickups, but for some people or for some constituencies, a SUV might be more adequate, more appropriate, and so on. All of those things were discussed. All of the discussions were held in the most collegial, even friendly manner. There was nothing adversarial about it. I don't know what happened on the other side. I know that Honorable Tevin Andrews and I reported to our colleagues at the end of every meeting. We got their feedback and their suggestions, and we took it back to the committee.
All right.
We got suggestions from the people on the other side too. So when the former leader of the opposition rose to talk about gift and personal vehicle and so on, I said to myself, hold on. These people, they are not singing from the same hymn book. Either they are not reporting to their colleagues and saying, this is the case, or maybe some of us, nature has started to take its toll on us and has started to erode our cognitive and mental faculties. Yeah? That. So it's really a storm in a teacup, and I believe that it is motivated by a need to distract and to create mischief and to give people false impressions and false information.
Right.
So I say categorically, and you notice when I said it in the parliament, one of them got up and tried to rebut, but could not deny what I had said.
Right.
Because she knew that what I said is quite factual. Yeah? It is not for personal use of the MPs. We have a vehicle use policy document. A draft was circulated to all members of the committee. All right? They appeared surprised the other day that this draft we're hearing about it, but I was able to pull up my email and show it, and everybody was copied on the email. So I'm not in a position to say who read and who did not read it. Yeah, we read it on our side, shared with our colleagues, and so on. So we have a responsibility. I said that in Parliament once, that when we get up to speak, we should not go out there to deceive the nation. We should not treat Parliament as a platform for scoring cheap political points and for engaging in political gimmickry. The Parliament should be seen as a sacrosanct place where serious debate takes place. Debate implies sometimes disagreement, sometimes vigorous disagreement, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But to go out there and misrepresent the truth, to fabricate stories, that is not good for our country. And that is why when I made my inaugural intervention at Parliament, a certain so-called journalist misquoted me and said that I said that a certain member was the guiding light. And what I had said was that given the longevity of that member, that I hope that that member would behave himself in such a way that he could be seen as a guiding light. And that same so-called journalist takes every opportunity to twist and misrepresent what I say on every topic. But the good thing about it is that, Terry, the people of Grenada are a lot wiser than some may wish to give credit for. Yeah, so the truth will always come to light eventually, and those who like to engage in misrepresentation and fake news, they will forever be going from one fake story to the next, from one bit of false info to the next, until eventually they're caught out and they will have no place to hide, no place to run.
Absolutely. Now, tell me, part of the policy position of the use of these vehicles for the constituencies, would these vehicles be used, let's say, for constituents who may have health issues and so forth, and to carry them to the hospital and that sort of thing?
So any legitimate thing, official, Parliament, constituency related, it ought not to be used for partisan purposes. It ought not to be. So if, for example, let's say there is a town hall meeting to report on the state of affairs of the constituency from the member of Parliament, then that could be a legitimate use. If I'm having a party pocket meeting or a constituency branch meeting, it should not be used to try to pick up members and take them to that meeting and back home. And I can give you the assurance it will not happen in my constituency, because one of my campaign pledges, one of the things I complained long and hard about for 10 years was the fact that the MP offices were being used mainly as party offices. And we had our party office in Satters, that's St. Patrick East and West, paid for jointly. We sell with saltfish and bakes. They used to say that can't fund politics. If you have ideas and you have programs, anything could fund politics, yeah? Indeed. And we made sure that after we won the election, we kept our party office and we continue to raise funds internally, get people, somebody pay the light bill, somebody pays the water bill, somebody pays the rent or part of the rent and so on. And this is how we do it. And we do not conduct any party activity at the MP office. So everybody feels welcome. When people go to the NDC office and they come to ask for the MP, they are told the MP's office is at the Satters Plaza. Yeah? So no canvassing, nothing of the sort takes place at the MP office. I have a lot of respect for the people of Grenada.
Clear distinction.
Yes. Political parties, we do not have a system in place yet where the state provides funding for political parties, and we should not try to engage in subterfuge to get it done like that. Yeah.
Well, time has certainly caught up with us.
Yes, as it always does.
1 hour goes pretty quickly.
Yes.
So let me invite you, therefore, to give your closing remarks.
Yes, so again, start by thanking you for the opportunity. by wishing everyone a peaceful, safe, and enjoyable holiday season. Do not indulge in excesses of food, drink, or any other behavior that you can, later regret. Some of us sometimes don't even live long enough to regret, unfortunately. Yeah. We have had quite a productive year in Grenada, nationally, and also at constituency level in St. Patrick West. Mm-hmm. We have been able to achieve quite a lot. There's still a lot more to do. We continue to consult with the people to get their feedback, their opinions, their suggestions, so that together we can work to transform our respective communities and ultimately our country. Continue to engage the world, because although we're an island, no man is an island. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
we are quite confident that we are on the right track, and that working together with the people, letting the people's voices be heard and giving the people the opportunities to participate, that we will make Grenada a great place.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Andal, for joining the Heartbeat today, and thank you for joining us, and be with us next Sunday when we'd have another equally interesting and stimulating conversation to share with you. So, see you at the rally later on this afternoon, and come on out and hear the presentations from the various parliamentary representatives in the parish of St. Andrew, the constituency of St. Andrew, and meet old friends, make new ones, and have a great Sunday afternoon out in Sass Plainfield in Telescope, St. Andrew. See you later on.
See you there.
Have a good one.
Good.
Ready up, St. Andrew. Big things happening. The National Democratic Congress is calling all supporters, members, and well-wishers to come out in your numbers for our rally under the theme Things Happening on Sunday, November 23rd at the Sass Plainfield in Telescope, St. Andrew from 5 p.m. Come hear our esteemed political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, alongside a powerful lineup of dynamic speakers, including Senator David Andrew, Honorable Delma Thomas, Honorable Lennox Andrews, Dr. Tessa Sincere, Senator Gloria Thomas, and more. Be part of the effort that's transforming lives, empowering communities, and making real progress across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. NDC Rally is the place to be on Sunday, November 23rd, Sass Plainfield, Telescope, St. Andrew. See you there.
Hi, my name is Daniela Christopher, and I'm a resident of Telescope. And I'm just here to talk about all the good work that David Andrew has been doing. We are very pleased with the work that he's doing, because a lot of things was neglected for a lot of years, and now he's just opening our eyes to see what a real government could do for their people. So first of all, I want to talk about the road that's leading by the Telescope School. This road was dilapidated for a number of years, and now it is fixed. I think it's over 840 feet of road, and it's all done just for the convenience of the people of Telescope. So where I live, this piece of road was there for eons. Every time an election was coming, they would do a little piece and leave it, do a little piece and leave it. But when Mr. Andrew came in, he did the entire road. He did the slipper drain to go right down to the junction. So I'm very pleased with that. This road is located in the back of Sass School. Also, he was instrumental in bringing the WASH program to Telescope and Small Bay. So many people got bathroom and toilet, and we are very pleased with that, because we know once you have bathroom and toilet, you think a little highly of yourself and you appreciate that. So we are very pleased with that. There are so many other programs that I know of. People are getting materials to build houses. People are getting materials to help them in other areas. So we are very pleased about that. Even as the Minister of Education, I am extremely pleased with all the progress that are being made. Lots of our children in Telescope who are going to TAMCC, who are going to Newlo, they have free tuition now. So I'm very pleased, because my son is in Form 2 and he will benefit from a free laptop. So I'm extremely pleased with that. Overall, Mr. Andrew is doing a very good job, and I'll be very pleased to see him as the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. Correction, he will be the next MP of St. Andrew Southeast. And how can I possibly forget that we got Progress Park light up. After all these years, we got Progress Park light up. And also, if you look behind me, Telescope is lighted as well. So thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate it so much. So things are definitely happening in St. Andrew Southeast.
We're moving forward, forward, forward. Move the country forward, forward, forward. With NDC forward.